All let's have the continuation of last class. In last class we had a basic introduction about what is psychophysiological measurement, right? So in this class, as a continuation of last class, we will be discussing what are the different types of psychophysiological measurements. Here we have the four categories. One is central nervous system measures, cardiovascular measures, peripheral nervous system measures, and fourth one is other measures. So these physiological measurements are very important. From this measurement we come to know what is the mental state of particular person. So let's see how this classification has been taken and what are the things will be covered under this four classification. So let's start with the central nervous system. You know the central nervous system which connects the spinal cord and your what your brain, right? So then I think now you get to know that there are certain equipments which is related to the brain, so which is none another one major equipment is the EEG, that is electroencephalography. So the purpose of this electroencephalography is that we know that it means for measuring electrical activity of the brain. So the application of this EEG in this area, that is the area where you have to measure psychophysiological measurement, is that the application, if you see, the first one is like it helps you to study cognitive process. Okay, so example, attention, memory, problem solving. And also it also gives about details more into emotional states, whether person is like anxiety, stress, or happiness. Even where the patient is like so hyper, we can easily measure the arousal levels of particular person. So these kind of application we can get from EEG physiological response. So the advantage of using this particular EEG is we have very good high temporal resolution, a non-invasive technique, and it is relatively inexpensive one compared to other things. So but whatever advantage it's there, equivalent limitation also there, that is the disadvantage. The reason is that this particular technique is most susceptible to noise, which is coming from muscle activity or even have some external interference. This interference or the noise may affect the true measurements or value of EEG. So it will lead to some assumption or misconception or misleading of results. Okay, so these are the this is all about EEG. And then second equipment which is meant to measure, um, which is giving physiological response. From there we can give some assessment of psychological state. That is other equipment is MEG, that is magnetoencephalography. In previous case we discussed EEG, that is electroencephalography. Here we are focusing the magnetic field of brain. In previous case we focused on electrical activity of brain, here the magnetic activity of the brain. So the application is almost similar to EEG, but it offers even good spatial resolution compared to the EEG, where the EEG we had very good temporal resolution. So here MEG we have very good spatial resolution. So based on the requirement we can either go with EEG or MEG. So the advantage of using this MEG is non-invasive, high spatial resolution, less susceptible to noise from muscle activity. Here since since here we're concentrating on magnetic field, so this particular technique is highly recommended when you are going with less susceptible to noise, or also when we are going with the where spatial resolution is more important. Okay, so the limitation of this particular technique is it is more expensive compared to EEG and requires the very important specialized equipment when we are dealing with recording MEG, that is a magnetic electric field of magnetic field of the brain. Okay, so this is all about MEG. So these are the two equipment we can use to measure the physiological response of the brain. From that we can get to know what is the different cognitive process of the person, and also some emotion related things. Okay, so in in next class we will be discussing like other types which is the cardiovascular measures, and even you have remaining two types, right? So that is peripheral nervous system measures and other measures. In this class we just covered what is a central nervous system measures. So in next class we will be discussed